Hello and welcome to the garden. Well, today I'm continuing with the replanting of the garden for winter and into next spring. So today it's all about the brassicas. So a couple of weeks ago I was pricking out and potting on a whole bunch of brassicas. I've got various cabbages, kales. I've got a fairly late sowing of cauliflower and some calabrese, which I'm not entirely sure how well they're going to do. Depends how the weather goes for the rest of the year. And then I've got some sprouting broccoli, which I hope will give us a crop in the spring. So that's all got to get in the ground today. The patch behind me where I'm starting, well, that had broad beans and peas. Now that's all been cleared away and the weeds removed, and that is now good to go. So I've just been laying out these plants roughly where I think they could go. I'm not going to give them a huge amount of space. They should be fine here. I can get 4, I think, across here and still leave room to get along the back of the fence. So this is dwarf green curled kale. To be honest, none of these plants are particularly impressive. They're not my best seedlings. I don't know why exactly. I didn't give them quite as much attention as I should have done. And I don't know what I was thinking when I put them in such shallow pots. That was a little bit silly, but let's just have a little look at one. Well, it's fine. It's not pot bound at all. So I think, although they're a little bit scrappy, I think they will do fine once I've got them in the ground and given them a good watering. So I'm going to get 8 plants of the dwarf green curled kale, 8 of the broccoli, and then I think I'll just have enough room to squeeze in a row of calabrese there. How well that does remains to be seen. Right, I'll make myself a little bit of room. As always, the ground here is a little bit stony and a little bit hard, but judging by the way the other brassicas did in this part, I think they'll be absolutely fine in here. They just make my job a little bit difficult. Dear oh dear. As usual, I'm making a bigger hole than I really need. Then I've got a mixture here of lime, fish blood and bone, and some chicken manure pellets. And I'm going to put just a handful of that in each planting hole. Now I want to mix that into the soil well, which is why I've taken out a bigger hole than I need. I don't want to drop the plant straight on that. It's a little bit much for it, I think. Right. And I want to set those just a little bit deeper than they were in the pots. And these really want to be firmed in well. Right, that'll be fine. Now I just need to check my spacings here. There's a bit of a boulder in here somewhere. Don't need that. dear, this is an awful spot. Well, I'm surrounded by ex-gravel pits now. They are very attractive lakes now, but you can see why they thought it was a good idea to extract gravel here. Right, that'll do. I need an excavator to get any further with it. Right, that's a ropey looking leaf. Something's had a nibble on that. I'll get rid of that one. And there we go. And the brassicas really do like it nice and firm. So that is not going anywhere in this ground. So next we have broccoli. This is a really early variety. This is Rudolph, so it's a purple sprouting. More stone. Dear oh dear. Oh, I suppose if I do this long enough, eventually I will have tossed all of these stones out of the bed. Yeah, I want to set that reasonably deep here. Take those bottom leaves away. Doesn't need those anymore. Something's been eating that one again, but dear oh dear. Yeah, I think they should settle down okay in here. They are not the best plants I've raised this year, but I think they'll be all right. So that's 8 plants of the curly kale and 8 of the sprouting broccoli, and here I've got room for just 1 row of the calabrese. Now this is a little bit in the way. This is the old Swiss chard, and we've finally given up on trying to prevent this from bolting. Our next crop of chard is coming along nicely, but this will be cleared in the next week or two, so it's not going to be in the way for long. Oh dear. I think I need a pick to get in here. Yeah, more stones. Dear oh dear. Oh, that's better. The cabbages don't really seem to mind it. Once they get going, they seem to be quite happy in here. But it is horrendous to dig in. I want to set these pretty deep. Yeah, these have got a lot more root on than the other plants. Of course, this is quite a fast growing plant, so that might be why. These ought to have been in really deep pots. I don't know what I was thinking. They will certainly appreciate being in some deeper soil, stony or not. Yeah, that's all right. Now, we had a little bit of rain recently, but this ground seems pretty dry, so I'm going to give these a really good soaking. The pots are a little bit dry. I had watered them just, I don't know if it was yesterday or the day before, but yeah. I think they were looking for a little bit better attention. I'll give them a good soak now. That'll help getting them settled in. And then they'll be away, I think. Get out of it. I'm just going to drag this net over from the other patch. There's still plenty of cabbage whites flying around, and we've got a rather large population of lazy fat pigeons that would scoff the lot in a day if we don't cover them. So that'll do. I'll just peg this along the base, and that'll do for now at least. That should be pretty secure. I don't want to leave any loose netting here where birds could get caught, but let's have a look. That's not too bad. Yeah. Well, in this half bed here, I'm going to put 6 of these cottagers kale. I'm going to give these a reasonable amount of room here, I think. And 6 in this space should be absolutely fine. I don't want to crowd it too much. I've got my chives and garlic chives along the front and lavender on the one side and some rather ropey looking spring onions on the other. So I think 6 plants in here is more than enough. Oh dear. That's no good. Oh, this is terrible today. I think I'll lose that lower leaf. It's not doing anything useful. Nice little root ball there, and it's not too bad actually. I'll set that quite deep. Again, really firming that in nicely. I don't want them rocking. Right, that'll do. 5 more. Well, I've run out of butterfly netting, so I need to order some more. In the meantime, I've just covered them with this mesh here, and that's fairly lightweight, so it's not going to harm the plants at all. And by the time they've grown up, I mean, these are going to get pretty tall, I would have thought, but by the time they've really got growing again here, I should have some more netting available. This is our third and final patch for today. So this area had onions in before, so that's been cleared and weeded. That's good to go. Over here we had this squash trailing around. This is a Blue Hubbard. Now I can't say it's been particularly productive. It has produced exactly one fruit, but it is a bit of a whopper, so there's a good few meals there. So I've just moved the vines out of the way. I mean, this plant is practically finished now. It is packing up for the autumn, so it's not going to mind, and we'll plant around it. So what I've got here, if I can remember, I've got some cauliflower, some more broccoli. I've got, these are for Copenhagen cabbage. Now, it's a bit late to be getting those in the ground. That's really a good summer cabbage, but it's so fast to heart up that I'm pretty sure we'll get a crop off of those. Then I've got red cabbage, and then I've got a second batch of savoys. Now, I did plant some savoys elsewhere some weeks ago, so they will give me the first harvest, and these will follow on afterwards with any luck. But yeah, I'm not going to film planting all of these, obviously, but I'll get those in the ground and show you the job when it's done. Well, that job was a lot harder than it needed to be honest. It was really difficult getting in the ground here, and I'm going to have to think about what I do with this later. I'm starting to think it might be sensible to give this an old-fashioned session of winter digging to sort of loosen that up, break up this compact soil here. I don't know. I don't like to do that if I can avoid it, but this is just so hard to work in. Breaking it up with a fork might be the best idea. But anyway, this bed of brassicas is done now. I'm just going to cover this with mesh the same, and later when I've got the netting I will make some more permanent arrangement here. But that is all for this video, so thanks very much for watching, and bye for now.